every blessing or promise of God that you want your people to enjoy, you teach them. This morning I will be teaching briefly on faith for divine health. I know that most of us don't know much about divine health. What we know is divine healing. There's a difference between divine healing and divine health. Divine healing is the removal of sickness from the body by the power of God. Divine health is living daily without sickness, without disease, without infirmity by the power of God. Healing connotes that health has been lost. Divine health is living daily without sickness because of what Jesus Christ did on the cross of Calvary for us. Salvation in New Testament Greek is known as sotere, and sotere comes from the root word sozo, which means to save, to preserve, or to make whole. So salvation is not just forgiveness of sin, it includes divine health. Jesus paid for it. Now we're going to see Isaiah 53 and 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 24. Now Isaiah 53 verse 5 says, by his stripes we are healed. Now there is something called prophetic perfect. Isaiah was talking of the present, but in Hebrew there is something called prophetic perfect. Isaiah was talking of what will happen 700 years to come. He was seeing it. He was so sure of it. It is called prophetic perfect. Now, when you read 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 24, when Peter quoted the same verse, Peter said, by whose stripe we were healed. Now, Peter was talking after Jesus has paid the price. He was used past tense that Jesus has paid the price. Isaiah prophesied. Isaiah was seeing the future 700 years before the advent of Jesus. Now, Peter have seen, and he was there when Jesus paid the price. So, according to Peter, we have been healed. Now, we were healed is past tense, which refers or which implies that it has been done. It implies completion. It implies accomplishment. If it's today, Peter will say, by whose stripe you have already been healed. I love the Message Bible translation. It says, his wound became your healing. So Isaiah prophesied it. Jesus Christ fulfilled it. And Peter was telling us that we were healed, which means that we don't have sickness again. Another thing is that sickness is more than physical, it's spiritual. In the book of Luke chapter 13, 11 and 13, Jesus talked about the woman with the spirit of infirmity or with the spirit of sickness. Sickness is spiritual. So at the cross of Calvary, Jesus paid the price of our sickness, of our diseases, and of our infirmity. You are healed. You have been healed. Now, the same way you believe your salvation, how can you say it? Somebody say to you, say after me, I confess with my mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, and I believe in my heart that God raised him from the dead. I receive him as my personal Savior, and you believe it. The same way believe your health. No wonder the Bible said in the book of 3 John chapter 2, beloved, I wish above all things, that you mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. Divine health is the will of God. God said, I wish above all things that you be in health. It is the will of God for you to be in health, to live without sickness, to live without diseases, to live without weaknesses. Remember how I defined it? I said it is living daily by the life, by the power, by the Zoe of God, because of what Jesus did for us at the cross of Calvary. And when we talk about sickness, what comes to mind is fever, typhoid, malaria. No, sickness is more than that. And Jesus paid for them in full. We have dimensions of sickness. We have physical sickness. That is why you have malaria. That is why you have fever. That is why you have typhoid. That is why you have all kind of sickness. We have emotional sickness, heartbreak, depression. They are sicknesses. We have mental sickness, disorder in the mind and reasoning. We have moral sickness. We have social sickness. And we have spiritual sickness. Separation of your soul from God because of disobedience. Idolatry. So you can live free from depression. You can live free from mental disorder. You can live free from all kind of sickness. So sickness is more than typhoid and malaria. I love the way World Health Organization define health. It says, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not just mainly the absence of sickness and diseases or infirmity. Healing is God's permissive will. Health is God's perfect will for his children.